channel where the dough don't rise. Broken bakers here with the sarcastic eyes. From Danish pastries to courtroom crime, where the spelling's a mess, but the humor's prime. Pro se defendants taking the stand, with wine moms laughing, glass in hand. Mods like Marissa and Valhalla too. Irish and whiskey keep the chat in view. It's trial tribulations with a sprinkle of wit. Chats popping off, yeah, they never quit. Jamie's got the deals and the beauty hacks. Dollar store glam keeping us on track. So come for the crime, stay for the snark. Broken bakers baking up a legal spark. Mo hops in with spicy takes. Jemima's got the docks, Farrell brings the shakes. Brandon keeps it wild, Iron Rabbit keeps it chill. Together they're the dream team, streaming the thrill. With courtroom chaos and dry witty flair, we're roasting defendants, cause life's not fair. Grab your wine, your snacks, and settle in. Chat's the real star, let the fun begin. It's trials, tribulations with a sprinkle of wit. Chats popping off, yeah, they never quit. Jamie's got the deals and the beauty hacks. Dollar store glam keeping us on track. So come for the crime, stay for the snark. Broken bakers baking up a legal spark. Broken Baker streaming, so don't you miss, where courtrooms and sarcasm meet Danish bliss. Mods and chat, we're keeping it clever. True crime and dry humor now and forever.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, and what, if any, you might be. And welcome to what will be probably at some point part of the greatest love story ever told. Doink the clown and his fair maiden. As you might know, Aidan Kearney had a little bit of a problem with a certain lady because we men sometimes forget to put the blood up here. We put it somewhere else. And that lady got him in trouble in prison. And after that, that lady found her knight in shining armor, Grand Doink the Clown, Smith Ellis. Sadly, he blocked me on TwitTwat, but because of the new rules with TwitTwat, I can see his tweets still. And yesterday, the poor little damsel in distress had a court date to have her restraining order against Turtleboy extended for another year. It has been used kind of a way in the Karen Reed case to get Aidan out of courtrooms. We saw that where he had to leave the press box because all of a sudden she showed up. She has no connection to anyone in the case, but she has been used against Aidan. She is a wonderful, wonderful woman as far as I can tell. Maybe that's why Doink the Clown is constantly hoping that he will be the one who gets to slap those roast beef curtains aside and be the next person who will get in trouble with this lady. She has more restraining orders out on former boyfriends than most people. I'm told. Again, I don't know her. But she is a part of the Camel Toe Club, the ladies who showed up on the last day in the Karen Reed case with the shorts a little too high, if you know what I mean. And maybe that's why Grant fell in love. You never know. But she was in court yesterday. Grant was there. There was a small snafu. Grant was threatened to be thrown 90 days in prison, but we're not going to talk about that too much because Grant is a journalist. He's a former law student. His mom, the Honorable Wendy Murphy, known for such successes as claiming, even though the rape victim claimed She lied. Wendy keeps saying, well, she was pressured to do it. So this can only be a wonderful stream. I am looking at a Victor Rivel, something, a double red rum out of New Hampshire, set to start today, but I haven't seen it posted anywhere. I hope it's not one of those that Court TV runs on their website, because if you hate advertisement on YouTube, you will hate it even more, because I don't have premium to their site and I won't buy it. But if it goes up, I'll go live. Yes, everyone in California, hope everything is going well. I was looking, the expert covered it yesterday. I was looking earlier this morning. It's crazy stuff. Hey Katie and Irish. Good morning. It's only 26F here, and you know what the F stands for? Fun. 10 funs where butt faces. Hey Hannah D and Plushy Mom. It was 17 fun here this morning and windy. I'm over it already. Hey Debbie Blair. Is this a turd Ferg banger? I don't know that person. I was hoping for, well, you got it. I could feel it in my bones. I feel it in my tummy. I feel it in my toes. Baker streams around us, and that's how the Wednesday goes. Yes, Marissa was very good at making an intro, and I still haven't gone back and did what I said, but that's a long time till New Year. Hey, Crispy and Esprit. Is she nerd? Hey, Melissa and Brianne. I would be crying at 5. Why? No reason to cry. Hey, Out and About, been a second, and Holly Merck. Grant was spastic yesterday. He fancies himself Lindsay Gaetani's champion. Baker should juxtapose Jason Boyle's tweets as a comparison about how ridiculous Grant lies. Thank you. Who is Jason Boyles? I don't know all the players. Bum, 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 bum. And the feeling grows. Stream is all around us. And I see a lot of players who play basketball, not anyone saying Grant's an idiot. Oh, broils. Maybe that's why. There's a lot of them too. Well, this one is answering. He's mentioned by Grant in a tweet saying, I watched you walk out of court and not talk to anyone, especially Turtleboy fans. You are a liar. Well, that's impossible, as I spoke to Lauren Murray and we exchanged a pleasant greeting. Then I said Jason Broyles is a bad man. Then I went back to talking to people who were in awe of Lindsay. I had a huge grin on my face the entire time. Why can't I find that? Oh, PDF file. I can't see anything. Well, I'll just make fun of Grant. That'll be fine. Hey, everyone. Hey, Helen. 27 fun in North Georgia with snow coming for Friday. Get your bread and milk. Unions. No, Marissa made this intro. 30 in Virginia. Oh. Bring back the Muffin Man song. You bring back the Muffin Man song. I'm so far behind. Just gonna leave this there. We all know where it goes. No, you're not going to yell at this one. It's a love story. This is like Jamie flying across the world to meet up with me. I'm so far behind. Lindsay was pathetic pro se cross-examining Turtleboy was hilarious. Lindsay was getting pro bono mystery attorneys provided to her by the police state previously, but no more meatball cut ties with her. Oh. I'm so far behind. Apparently, she collected $8,000 for a lawyer, yet fees was $1,500, but she refused to pay and then threatened her lawyer she was going to report him to the overseer. She already done it to Bradle. My son used to have a hangout room in our shop. A big sign said MKC. I asked what that meant. He proudly said Moose Knuckle Club. Smack my hiney. Is this going to be just like that Taylor Swift song? Yes. Which one? No. Taylor Swift songs are breakup songs. So it can't be like that. Hey, Kim. But let's get into it because I know you ladies like a good midweek romance. All right. After a bit of a snafu, I now have permission to live post from inside the ongoing RO extension hearing involving Turtleboy and the victim. The judge is reviewing documents in a matter as Kearney and Lindsay looks on. The problem was he was recording in the courtroom, was threatened with a $6,000 fine and 90 days in prison if he didn't stop filming. That was that little snafu. 90 days in prison would have been 50% more than Aidan spent in prison. Lindsay has provided the court with posts on social media and blogs from Mr. Kearney, wherein Kearney violated his restraining order by targeting Gaetani with leaked court documents and other harassment. Kearney was charged with violation of the RO while it was active in February 2024. Linz, thank you so much for the super sticker of a little hippo that's surprised. Apparently, the audio of Aidan's case will be released the next couple of days. Apparently, you hear the judge threatening 90 days for Grant trying to live stream in court. Oh, that could be fun. I have to get in on that one as well. But this is more of a love story. And thank you, Christine, for being here for 14 months. Lindsay wins her motion to admit into evidence the social media postings made by Kearney while the RO was active. Lindsay is now detailing the violations of the RO by Mr. Kearney. Kearney got his order modified to allow Kearney to be within 50 yards of Gaetani at court hearings. Then Kearney tried to contact Lindsay's former partners to continue the torment. Kearney has been following Lindsay to court hearings, including in December, and Kearney looked directly at Lindsay during that hearing and winked at her. Lindsay worries Kearney is using the modification to target her further, and she's in fear. Kearney, while the RO was active, made direct threats to the victim during his YouTube shows. When Kearney violated the RO on the 26th of February, he had issued a threat to Lindsay that morning, a threat Lindsay saw after the fact. So, not that threatening. Lindsay is terrified, afraid to leave her house, and does not know what Kearney is capable. I'll do it in English. Lindsay is terrified, afraid to leave her house, and does not know what Kearney is capable of doing. Lindsay fears Kearney will show up at her home, where her kids go to school, and where she travels to torment her. Um, Funny enough, I've seen quite a lot of Miss Lindsay on the Twits. It doesn't seem like she is that much afraid of going outside of her home. And if she's afraid to leave her house, where's she traveling? That, yeah. Well, I'll wait for the audio to come out. Then I'll play it because no, I'm pretty sure Aiden would be absolutely fine with it. But I'll rather have the real audio. This is just because this is such a ridiculous thing. Yeah, he's moved on. He's in a new relationship. She keeps trying to get him back because she's nothing without him. And just as all of that kerfuffle went on with Sean on the golf and all the other people that started yelling at each other on the Free Can Read side, Grant and Kate Peters hate each other now, and Lindsay is between them. Sadly, not in the way that Grant wished her to be, but it's just it's so redunculous. Grant's mom, Judy Grant, used her connections to get Sonny Boy Grant his press pass. So getting it taken away from him may be difficult because mom's police state connection. Yeah, and again, but if he's breaking the rules, breaking the law, he could be yeeted. Grant is such a geek. He's thinking fake victim is going to give it up to him. Lol, she probably already dirty skank. Well, this is a good Christian channel. On this channel, we say Grant will never part the roast beef sea because even her, with her standards, is smarter than that. Well, you have EBT cards. You don't need to work. Not Julie Grant, Wendy. Yeah, Wendy Murphy. That's her name. I have a lot of old songs in my head. The woman working with Turtle Boy apparently to torment Lindsay and her children is removed from the courtroom. While Lindsay was testifying, the woman started interrupting from the audience with sounds and was quickly removed. Lindsay's children's schools have received messages between Kearney and Lindsay that only Kearney possessed, and this keeps her in constant fear. Didn't someone threaten Turtle Boy to leak a certain video? Just wondering. Kearney's lawyer points out that Lindsay today is in fear, trembling, crying, and struggling. Bradel loses his motion to strike evidence of Kearney mentioning Lindsay on social media. Bradel needs a moment to compose himself after losing the motion. Lindsay never recanted her allegation that Kearney grabbed her wrist to either someone named Mary or someone named Grace. Lindsay asserts a privilege after Bradel tried to bait her into answering questions about a woman who mentioned Lindsay's kid on a live stream to torment her, and the court appoints Lindsay a lawyer. Yeah, all of it is just stupid. Well, I'm slightly stupid, so I start reading and then I find out, oh, you shouldn't have said that one. That's because Jamie doesn't stream with me anymore, and she was my good influence. She was my little what do you call that thingamabob that runs around with Pinocchio and tells him what's wrong and what's right? Jiminy Cricket, I think it is. Jamie is my Jiminy Cricket. I really don't want them. You know, when you're going out to buy tires you want to have someone that hasn't been driven so far that there's no tire tracks back on left on them. Yes, Jiminy Cricket. Grant is still a clown. Never will learn anything. Grant is no journalist, but may have a future in fiction writing. Him and Plevin should make a, I don't know what you would call it, fiction company where they make up crime cases and love stories, because none of what they're saying is anywhere near the truth, but they'll keep going with it and yell at everyone else. I love that Plevin always saying, well, I trust logic and science. Well, show us the science. Go slit your. How about the money she made $6,500 off grifting? Hey, sometimes mama need a little holiday too, and money can go fast when mommy is on holiday. Sometimes you can be on holiday in your own house, if you know what I mean. She has a salvage title. Mm-hmm. Grant is annoying in court. He slams the keyboard when he's furious typing his propaganda loud as heck. Yeah. And his mannerism, I don't know if he has some tics or a little bit of the Tourette's or something, but he's constantly moving. He's weird. Yep. And we're talking about one of those small hot dog. Well, it's not a hot dog wiener, but one of the small ones, not the big one. Compare Grant's tweet to what actually happened in court with the guy from, I think, Boston 25, like Chores and cheese. But I can't find anything. I'm trying to Google it, but I can't. I was told Jason Brawl, but I couldn't see anything. So if anyone has a link to it, please DM me on Twitter. I'm looking at it right now. Imagine Grant in jail. He'll be crying in the corner the whole time. Yeah. And doing his post saying, "This is unacceptable. This was my spot. They took my spot. Respect me." Yep. He identifies by his disability. Yeah, I love that his first thing in his Twitter bio is disabled. Yeah, we know. We have heard you talk. Vienna sausage. Well, yeah. Grant was already in court when I got there at 7 a.m. Grant hangs with us free can read peeps. Without us, Grant has no friends. No, and Tom was nice to him, taking him out to eat. I know a lot of people got mad that people talk to Grant, but again, you're not going to change his mind by calling him an idiot constantly. That's why he won't unblock me on Twitter, because I call him Doink the Clown. I should be nicer to him as well. Is your dog named Brandon? No. Julie Grant isn't his mom. Wendy Murphy is his mom. Especially since it's a pack of lies. The police didn't even believe her after she gave them the video footage of her bedroom ceiling cam. She has no shame. No, she claims grape, and that's the funny thing, because she claims that, and they have used that, and he has never been charged with it. Both Grant and Plevin has called him an alleged rapist, because you can use that now, that word, alleged rapist. That's why I'm so much against people saying, well, I got a PDF vibe of these people, because you just have to mention it and then it'll stick to you. Yep. Yeah, and again, being nice to an idiot shows you a bigger man than he is. Justin. Lindsay Gaetani have been given a court-appointed lawyer to help fight to extend her RO against Aidan Kearney. Turtleboys' lawyer tried to pull a fast one on Lindsay. Lindsay asserted a legal privilege. What legal privilege? There's no facts in any of this. It's just, yeah, she pulled a privilege. Is it the fifth? Is it the 19th Amendment? What privilege did she invoke? And the court gave Lindsay a lawyer. The crowd was in awe. Multiple Turtle Boy fans complimented Lindsay's intelligence as she acted on her feet in response to Bradle's question and dominated him without missing a beat. One of them said to me, "Wow, Lindsay is smart." Another said, "Oh my God, how did she manage to do that?" A third said, "Wow, that plan by Turtle Boy backfired." This changes the ball game, folks. It'll now be Bradle versus Lindsay's new lawyer, whoever the court appoints, when the hearing continues later today. I have never in my life seen a pro se litigant act with such brilliance on their feet. We are now in recess. She asserted her Fifth Amendment because Bradle questioned her about the RO on her for threatening another woman. Well, he didn't. He ran out of characters to write it. I didn't say Lolita. Yeah, it's really bad what's going on down there. I hope the wind will slow down or something, so there's a chance they can get out there. And help. Lindsay had installed a Ring camera in her bedroom. She was using it to record Turtle Boy in order to blackmail him, technically wiretapping in Massachusetts. Never mind revenge corn. Have you ever seen yourself undressed? You're not as hot as you think. I never understood those homemade videos. It looks more like Greco-Roman wrestling and too much flappiness going on. Well, she struck it down and dominated Bradle. I don't think they could fly home yesterday. I think they closed the airports, so they're probably not even able to fly home. Yes, we Dave and I did a cover of it that night, and that's what we said. She was clearly a honeypot, and for those of you who are not old enough to remember the Cold War, a honeypot is when you use the sexual partner of choice. It can be male, it can be female, to lure someone in and do something compromising so you can use that against them in the future. That's what she was used for, because why should she call him up and say, "Hey, you better come over. I have this affidavit that, or I have this summons. I have to go talk to a grand jury," when there was no grand jury going on. And why did she call not 911, but a detective in the middle of the night? That's not what you normally do. That's why I say this is clearly a honeypot. Again, I hope they'll get it either through Turtle Boy or through Karen Reed. We really need to see what is in all of these private communications between Tully, Morrissey, and all the people surrounding, because this is just another crap fest in Canton. This is the big problem we have in all of these cases. These people are working to entrap other people. Aidan was sent to prison for 60 days on the back end of that honeypot meeting. That is highly unethical, and that shouldn't have been allowed. Yeah, leave the corn to the professionals. She could have made more money with OnlyFans. Well, when she's done up, I've seen that picture where she's trying to get to on The Bachelor. She's a pretty lady when she's done up. So yeah, she could probably have had made more money than that. But the problem is, she seems a little unstable. Um, yeah, bring on the burner email. That's what we want to see. Hey, TLA. No, you came in just as we ended yesterday. I saw you just before we ended. We are in recess. Now I have to go back because this is not a thread. Where did I find it? Why the hell can't I find it now? Do I have to go up? Yes. And then he put in the stuff about the testimony of the expert witnesses. He doesn't understand that either. Justin, the woman who has been attacking Lindsay Gaetani children online and helping Aidan Kearney now admits under cross that she had direct contact with Kate Peter, aka Mafia Masshole, in the past. Oh my word. So both sides are attacking Lindsay now. That's not nice. And this is wow. On cross, one of Aidan Kearney's witnesses, a woman who has been attacking Lindsay Gaetani and her children for weeks, has just exposed herself to potential perjury by saying she didn't know about the court documents related to Christy Citrone. Wow. I don't know who she is. I don't know who that is. What does this say? The plaintiff's father bring the contempt alleging in part that defendant mother swears and uses profanity and epithets and inflammatory language on a regular basis in front of children. While no precise language of the divorce judgments expressly precludes this, there is nevertheless a general requirement of good faith and fair dealing between ex-spouses. I don't know who Christy Snyder is. Should I know who Christy is? I don't know. Oh, I have to look that up later. Yeah, I snuck one past you, Brandon. I think he's seen too much and tries to try and emulate, but he's not that smart. This just in. After all this nonsense between Grant, Lindsay, and Turtleboy, all three sets of parents agree that they should have gone back in time and practice safer smacks. Maybe. Hey, Rolling Stone, we are glad to see you. Yeah, Doink never disappoints. And what is this? Now comes defendant and husband in the above referred matter and hereby moves this honor to emergency basis to temporarily sole legal. As grounds, the husband stayed on and about August 2010. That's pretty old. Was called by wife's father, Richard, after the wife made a statement about doing harm to her boys. I don't know who that is. Is it anyone important that I need to look up? I don't care. New Aidan Kearney now admits that he was cheating on his then wife with Lindsay Gaetani and that Kearney was planning to end the relationship with his wife while dating Lindsay. Oh dear God. Aidan loved Lindsay, and after she rejected him, he threatened self-harm. That doesn't pertain to anything. Breaking news. Aidan was a hound dog. Aidan was a hound dog. He was stepping out on his wife. Not news. Everyone know this. I don't know why it's new, and him admitting to it would be pretty hard not to, as he wasn't. I think he separated at the time, but again, Grant, your lovely little bride to be is a homewrecker. Is that better? Her slinging her roast beef sandwiches up and down every street in Canton. Is that what you're wishing for? I just know that if that was my lady that I was interested in, and I know that She had more pipe laid than central New York. I would probably think she's sweet and all that, but STDs are not for me. Grant chokes the one-eyed snake in line for court. That's what I've heard. Allegedly in Minecraft. Oh. That witness, Mary, the fake victim, left a voicemail threatening her life. Oh, was she the one where she called up and said, I'm going to unalive you and your kids? Yeah, fight for your bride, Grant, because she's such a sweetheart. I can't wait for the other side of this case. I believe Christie was once aligned with Kate Peter and the Food Stamp 5 crowd. Food Stamp 5 crowd is another word for the moose for the Camel Toe 5. Christie had since left the group and she's testifying against Lindsay Gaetani. Oh, not good. Christie is Amber Canyon. She used to be anti, but came over to Karen Reed after getting mixed up with Kate Peters. Yeah. That's we've shown it on this channel. Yeah, these roast beef sandwiches, you want as little mayo as possible. How dare you? I'm offended. Meat lasagna for lunch. Yep. I hate when people start treating trials like a guilty pleasure reality show. Well, this is a guilty pleasure reality show because Grant is my favorite idiot. And I love him so much that I have offered him $25 to unblock me on Twitch. He still hasn't done it. I see Grant in person all the time. As strange as he is, I can honestly say I have seen him. Well, you can't honestly say I've seen him playing with his junk in public. Well, you never know with that shoelace belt. No, he's just disabled. I think he has some bowel problems. He went to law school, but we know lawyers. Present company not excluded. She's going to bring me that's her gift for me. I got you a belt. Oh, how nice. And then she's going to give me a shoelace. Justin, we are back from lunch at today's Aidan Kearney hearing as to the RO held by Lindsay Gaetani. Gaetani is asking the court to extend the order, and now Gaetani is about to cross Kearney. What happened with the lawyer she was given? The last... What? Didn't it say that she was given a lawyer? Now I'm confused. She's been given a court-appointed lawyer to help her fight. Was it just a standby counsel then? That doesn't make sense. I got some bowel problems on that fireball. Can I act disabled too? You can. You can. Hey, Simi Sharp. Christy Citron is also Grant's cousin. She used to be friends with the Food Stamp 5 and Nancy can read. Grant destroyed his sister's doll house like a true psychopath would. Yeah, but Grant said she had appointed a court-appointed lawyer. Oh, she got a standby. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, that's what someone said in the beginning as well. She had raised 8K and then went pro se. Hey, the grift is grifting. Thought I understood lawyer was for a separate issue. I think maybe she was incriminating herself in other legal issues, so the judge being careful. Oh my word, what a moment. Doing closing arguments of today's Aidan Kearney hearing, It was confirmed via testimony that Medfield police are investigating Kearney for a potential SA, and that investigation was open as of 2 weeks ago. Grant, I know you went to law school, I didn't. You can't put in testimony in the closing arguments. Closing arguments are not evidence. Just for the next time you're writing your novels, just to make it seem more authentic. Well, she keeps deleting her channel because she well, I'll tell you why she deleted it. She lost yesterday in court. So this is Grant's take on it, and Grant is wrong as always. So now she deleted her tweet again. She'll be back later today. You should, yeah, ask her if he parted the meat sea. More voices in his head. Now, in a heartbreaking moment, after doing her best pro se against Aidan Turtleboy Kearney and his lawyer, Lindsay Gaetani, lost her request to have her RO against Kearney extended. Gaetani gave an opening, provided evidence, crossed Kearney, and closed. It wasn't enough. And he predicted, by the way, that Gretchen Watts is objecting to compel production of her off-the-record notes because she's a journalist and they don't want to give up sources. But Grant, with his legal mind, has already found out there are two options. If she loses this motion, her only option left would be compliance with the court order or getting held in contempt for the purpose of an appeal, which isn't correct. She could also just appeal it. But Grant only went 1 year to law school, so he forgot that part. She could also appeal if it's overturned. I love Grant. He's an idiot. And he only said it 3 times. Good morning, towel friends. Milestones are tough for me to celebrate, as I prefer to simply keep my head down and focus on my coverage. But I will admit that it was humbling to wake up today and see that there are 7,000 of you accompanying me on this journey. Grant Smith Ellis, disabled, a journalist at heart and in practice, voted best news and information source by, I don't know who that is. Views own 7,000 followers. That's quite a feat. I don't think I have 100. But what an amazing love story. Now we just need to figure out from the other side what really happened, because all of this is what they, in legal terms, call bullshit, which means the remainder of a cow's meals after it has passed through the cow. Grant is a that one. Oh, well, I couldn't find Jason Broyles. That was why I couldn't. You have to give me the real names now. Not Haley. Let's see. Why doesn't it show up? Why can't I find that one? Did that person block me? I can't find it. Not. No. Yeah, I'm following that account. Let's see. I don't know why that wasn't real. Now I just have to find out where they. Did anyone watch Yellow Cottage Hill yesterday on Court TV being called Plevin? Plevin is an idiot. Can I find that line? Yes, this is a thread, so this is easier to read. Why is it stupid? Sorry. Behind the scenes problem. Let's read what not Haley Walbrecht, who is a man, experienced yesterday at the same time. In the court on the matter of Lindsay Gaetani v. Aidan Kearney to determine if the expiring harassment prevention order issued last year in Dedham Court should be reissued. Gaetani is up first. There was just an interruption as Grant Smith Ellis was just told to stop recording the hearing as he didn't properly request permission from the court to record the hearing. Grant has left the courtroom to presumably throw a fit in the clerk's office. Gaetani is going through the narrative of harassment that she alleged to be at the hands of Kearney. Gaetani is currently discussing her phone extractions being provided to Kearney by State Police Brian Tolley. It's unclear how Kearney could be responsible for the actions of Tolley. Gaetani appears to be making a series of baseless allegations unrelated to harassment from Aidan Kearney, which is the only subject of the hearing. Grant has returned to the courtroom. Sorry for the delay. Somehow, when Grant returned, the bailiffs were scouring the courtroom to see who was on their phones. I wonder if that had something to do with Grant. The courtroom has been cleared until further call as the subject of Gaetani's threats reported on earlier today came up, and Lindsay inquired to the judge as to whether she had a Fifth Amendment privilege against testifying after Bradel directly asked her if she threatened to unalive the victim and her children in the other matter. Quite the opposite of what Grant were alluding to. For the record, people are reading Grant Smith Ellis' tweet reporting that people were commenting on Lindsay's intelligence and currently laughing to the point that we're not certain the crowd will be able to settle down and make it back into the courtroom. I did have a brief exchange with Grant regarding Lindsay incriminating herself in a report to the Mansfield police. Grant repeated the attempt at saying that Lindsay's victims wiretapped her. It is shameful for Grant to continue to disparage the victim after it's already been proven that using the call recording features in iOS 18 satisfied the notice requirement, memorializing in SJC case law that remaining on a call after notification is to be constructed as consent of each party. Grant should consult my YouTube video on the topic and refrain from intimidating victims to simp for a criminal. The link is provided here. Go check that out. It's a new feature that you can record a call and then the phone will say online, this call is being recorded. Leave within if you don't want to be recorded or something like that. That constitutes consent. Walbrecht. Grant was in his own fantasy land as usual. Yeah, well, it's a good place to be. Spelling is a waste of time. Yes, it is. Yeah, Nick Rocco was the one who said the little plevin. I loved it. This will be my last tweet for a few minutes, and Grant will be crying to the court officers when he returns to the courtroom and sees my phone in my hand. This is the person we are reading. In riveting testimony, Lindsay's victims outlined her prior friendship with Gaetani and detailed her attempts to urge Gaetani to help with her issues with substance abuse surrounding her excessive alcohol consumption and issues with drinking and driving. Gaetani will now seek a job at the Canton Police Department. Gaetani attempted to shake her during her cross-examination, but in a stunning display of bravery, Lindsay's victim remained steadfast in her testimony despite Gaetani's attempt to paint the narrative that she was lying to protect Aidan Kearney. Following her testimony, attorney Tim Bradel called Kearney to the stand to recount his history with Miss Gaetani from the time that they met until present day. They spent a great deal of time covering the events of December 2023 and the incident overnight December 23rd that led to Kearney's bond being revoked. In surprisingly emotional testimony, Kearney recounted the anxiety and emotional turmoil Gaetani's false pregnancy brought. I have to admit, having known this story for some time, I didn't expect the wave of feelings that enveloped the courtroom during Kearney's direct testimony. Maybe also a little coloring outside of the lines, just like Grant does. At one point, attorney Tim Bradel listed testimony about impact of Kearney being incarcerated during the illness of Kearney's mother and the stolen moments prior to her subsequent death shortly after. It was heart-wrenching. That, I believe, people have felt. And at one point, people were audible sobbing. I also underestimate how emotional the testimony would be for me, having lost my own mother in September of 23. The themes of being separated from your loved ones hit hard. It does. I lost my mom in 17, and it can still bring a little tear to my eye. Court is currently on its lunch recess and will resume at 2, where Gaetani will have a chance to cross-examine Kearney, and both sides will have an opportunity to make closing arguments to assist the judge in evaluating whether to extend Gaetani's order for another year. Earlier today, I mistakenly referred to the order being a harassment prevention order, but in the case, it's actually a 209A restraining order that was issued on the basis of a now abandoned assault charge Kearney faced over the alleged couch pushing incident of December 23rd. Overall, Bradel did an amazing job at focusing on the issue specific to a 209A restraining order, which is determining if the petitioner has an objectively reasonable fear of imminent serious physical harm. When he, Bradel, laid the foundation for Lindsay's victim to testify by playing the recording of Lindsay's threats, there were audible gasps in the courtroom requiring the court officers to admonish the gallery to be quiet. On Lindsay's part, she attempted to spend a great deal of time so far focusing on the actions of anonymous, not anonymous, people on the internet, and in my opinion, hasn't really made a case that she is objectively afraid of Kearney. That appears to be coming through. Appears to be coming through is her usual anger. For a pro se petitioner, she didn't do horrible from a procedural standpoint, but frankly, in this type of hearing, impressing the court with your knowledge of courtroom basic etiquette isn't really a factor in demonstrating objectively reasonable fear. In my opinion, so far, the only people who demonstrated objectively reasonable fear have been Lindsay's victims. Aidan and Grant, when he couldn't figure out how to spin Lindsay's performance into an Oscar-worthy fantasy he depicted. More details to come, but I can report that the 209 restraining order against Kearney has been vacated. So these are the two sides of the story. They paint quite a different picture. So, hey, Haley Wolf. Good to have you back. I lost Dad in 2010 and Mom in 2017. I missed them every single day. Yeah, it's at some stupid point you just start thinking about them. That's the worst part, because I've lost grandparents and that before, but your parents, it's just different. Anything I missed? No. Liars like Lindsay and KP, who use the courts to satisfy their pathological needs, put us all at risk. If we ever had legit need for the court's help, Grant and supporters of these nuts are even worse. This is one of those problems we kind of got into with the hashtag Me Too movement, because what it actually did, in my opinion, was making it worse for some victims, because people overinflated their assaults. and by extension, minimizing what real assaults are. And trust me, I have had cases where I had to be a layman, and you don't forget looking into the eyes of a woman who has been through that. I had a case where I believe it's a few years back, maybe it was 8 grapes he had done, and to some very vulnerable people, one who had been sick for a very long time, her first real try to get back out to life. Another one who this was the first time she was out after having her kid. Watching these ladies and then see some of the people who use the hashtag #MeToo to get in front of a camera to scream, "I was abused." I think that hurt more than it helped. We got the consent laws, which I think helped, because previously we would have to sit and say the laws in Denmark would be that you would have to have forcibly withhold someone from leaving and forcing them to do it, or using your power or threats, and that could be really hard because sometimes women just disassociate and say, okay, let's just forget this ever happened. But now if there's no consent and there's no active participation, you can use the grape laws for it. I think that was a good thing. But a lot of these people who run in front of a camera and tell them, "Oh, I was abused," and what it was someone had looked at them and they didn't like the way he looked, and then that was literally grape. I think that actually hurt more women than it helped. Yeah, I really, and we've seen a lot of it. being one of the most visible ones, but there's been so many of those cases. I'm very fluent and accomplished in several languages. All I have is English and some Spanglish. Baker impresses me with his multilingual skill and proficiency. Seriously, I know speaky goody English. Layman is a juror. That's our system. We're just called layman. We're not called jury members. We are layman. That a layman is just someone who doesn't have an education. It's everyone is a layman until they become a specialist in a field. That's just what we have said, because we are there to fill the role of everyone on the street who doesn't have a law background, to evaluate and try to bring in the everyday perspective to cases. Hey, Tom, buddy. Welcome. We need to support each other, not make things worse. It's infuriating that immature, selfish people don't see that. Yeah, but people are capitalistic, and that's why we will always fight to get a little bit more, and we will use whatever thing we can to be a little bit more than everyone else. Just go around the YouTubes and look how many people have started fights within the last month because it's been a little dry with the coverage they could make. So we can always start attacking each other. Brandy made a post on it about the especially in the Karen Reed movement right now. There's this multiple divides where you must believe this or you are bad, but we don't have to do that, because there's just two positions in the Karen Reed case: guilty, not guilty. It doesn't matter who else did it. You can spend time on that after we make sure she's found not guilty, because that would be the correct thing. all of this crap with who was at the house. Was it in the basement? Was it on the first floor? Was it in the garage? Did it even happen? Was it the Martians? It doesn't matter. But people have lived with this case for 2 years now. I think it's 2 years since Jamie and I did our very first stream on it. And you will have people coming in constantly saying, well, this and this is this. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Colin was in the house. It doesn't matter if there's a new floor in the house. It doesn't matter if they're standing at the high top. The only thing that matters in the Karen Read case, and I wish both the Commonwealth and a lot of people online could figure this out, is guilty or not guilty. Everything else is absolutely ridiculous to spend time on, because we are not the detectives. We will not, even if Scott rides down the street tonight and finds the smoking gun, you will still have, it's the MSP that has to do the case. Of course, you can file a motion and say, hey, we found the smoking gun, but Judge Bebb will say, that's not smoking. And it'll go on. So why are we infighting over who has the correct theory about it? The correct theory, and the only theory based on evidence provided in court, is Karen Read is innocent. The rest doesn't matter. Not at all. If it's Higgins, if it's a dumbbell, if it's the rack thing on the weight bench, as I said, it looked like, if it's the fire hydrant, it doesn't matter. Only thing that matters in the Karen Read case, and I think we have been going at it for so long that everyone gets bogged down and looks, instead of looking at the forest, we just look at one tree and say there's no other trees here. No, there's one simple question. Doesn't matter anything else. Was there a Jeep there? When did Mr. Plow go by? Did she bring donuts the next day? None of that matters. The only thing that matters, and the thing we should all fight for, is saying Karen Read didn't do it. Scott's the real hero. No, Tom, you were standing outside yesterday freezing your behind off as well. You and Scott do a lot to cover the people on the ground, and you need a lot of praise for that, because it's easy for us to sit in our warm houses and cover this case, because we can just turn it on and then we go back, have a cup of coffee. You are out on the streets constantly, and you run around for the most obscure little thing you can go and support. You will be there with your camera and your humor, and it's so nice when you turn on a Tom stream and you hear, oh, how you doing, big fella? And you know, yep, it's Tom. So I love when you're doing it. Thank you, Oasis. But it does matter who did it, because we want justice for John. But don't confuse it with the Karen Read case. Because if we are fighting about if it was Colin or it was Brian Higgins, does it change anything? No. Because we can't prove it. It's for the MSP. When Karen Read is found innocent, then the MSP should find the real killer. Tuna rattle. I could rattle some tuna. True Baker, what is at hand is whether or not Karen Read is guilty. Beyond reasonable doubt, all the rest needs to be uncovered by a true investigation, an investigation that's too late, all is gone. That's the other problem. I really, in my heart of hearts, hope that somewhere in some digital file somewhere, they can find either a conspiracy, something. But it'll be hard, because the people who were supposed to solve the case did this. She's the one, forget the rest. And that's the thing that police officers do a lot. They'll focus on one person, and they will, again, it's the one tree, it's not the forest. It's actually quite the opposite of what Dr. Russell told us yesterday. I am looking at everything, the totality of the scratches, because one scratch could be anything. It could be yesterday when Scott was holding Tom's sign, and Tom had just put in a new nail and he didn't blend it off, and it scratched Scott. That could have been one of them. And then he could have had an injury down here that was when he was getting out of his car, he ripped it against the car door. But in totality is where you see the pattern. That's where you have your pattern recognition. And that's why you, to a high degree of medical certainty, can say it is a dog bite or a dog attack. And that's what the police should be doing. They should look at all the facts saying, okay, we have the car at the waterfall bar. They drive from the waterfall bar to Fairview 34, where it's seen by multiple people. None of them testifies they see John anywhere near that. And then we have her hitting her Wi-Fi at 12:30, 41 maybe. Okay, let's go back and look. Jen McCabe clearly lying when she said, I saw the car at 12:45. Why is she lying? We have to get her in, do the good old put the lamp in her face and say, your testimony is changing all the time. Why is that? Because then you're looking at the totality. Then you have everyone claiming she wasn't drunk. She wasn't drunk at all. And you get a BAC back that says, oh, she was so drunk she should have been passed out. Then you should probably think again, this doesn't add up. Then you have, why don't we have a collection of the evidence? This is what the DOJ hopefully is doing. And again, don't trust the feds. Don't believe in the feds. Don't believe they will come and clean everything up. But this is what a real investigation should be doing. You don't just look at that little piece and say, well, we're going to fit that piece into the puzzle. No, you have to look at the entire puzzle and say, Caitlin driving around picking people up, why doesn't it fit with all the other stories? The Jeep suddenly appearing outside of the house when it wasn't there in every other testimony, why is that? And then you make a case. That's what I'm saying. Tom CPU needs to go to jail for stealing people's data on their phones. Oh my. Did you, Tom, you little rascal. Tom, you should know better. I'm going to get Jamie to call you. And trust me, when Jamie calls you, that's going to be hell to pay. You, Tom, who is a bad YouTuber now? Don't steal data off people's phone. That's probably absolutely not what you did, and probably another of these stupid lies the Smurfs comes up with. But let's just say, oh, you're a bad boy. Look out for Lindsay Kearney. She likes bad boys. Wow, wow, waka waka. Where is the tow truck guy? The defense didn't call him either, so you can't put it on the state for not producing him. The defense should have called him, in my opinion. A child looking at photos of John's arm knows it's dog bitten. It is so frustrating. Well, it could be freckles. He was Irish. I would have to agree. Irish people do have a lot of freckles. A lot of those streaky freckles that looks like dog bites. It's very common in Ireland. It's from when us Vikings went over there. The gaslighting by the Commonwealth, I lose sleep over these BS. That's the thing. You should do that. Trolls always find us when anyone says Turtle Boy. Yeah. Oh, you stole all that data, Tom. Oh, you bad boy. Brrr. This is a troll-tolerant environment. Now get Kim in here. No, Kimmy, not Kim. Kimmy. I'm behind, but I must say most real DV victims never get a restraining order because it caused the abuser to get angry, and at the end of the day, it's only a piece of paper. Yeah, and she had a restraining order. Didn't she have a restraining order on that guy she was filming while she was sitting in the front seat of his car yelling that he should get back in and she would call the police? I don't know this lady. She's probably a wonderful lady, but fellas, don't dick crazy. It's not worth it. It is slash tires, STDs, and restraining orders. Stay away from crazy. Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I was missing in the last one was there was way too much third party culprit, and but the Commonwealth, what we talked about it the other day, they should just switch it up when the Commonwealth is going there and defending McAlberts and going to Aruba. Just stay and say, well, uh, did you see him hit the car, hit him? No. Did you see them have an argument? No. No further questions. And do that with every witness. And then Brennan is standing there saying, well, did you call him Mr. Napperknacker? Well, and they're saying, well, we don't know why you go that way. We just want to know, did you see him getting hit by the car? No. Okay, so no further questions. No, it was the tempered glass that shattered in a specific way. That to me, that after thinking about it today, that was the stupidest thing. Kimmy, love. No, just Kimmy, I think. She hasn't been here in a while. Didn't she stop by New Year's Eve? I think. No, that wasn't Kimmy. That was Nima. Hank Brennan's style reminds me of in Legally Blonde when she wouldn't let the witness daughter answer about getting in the shower. Well, it wasn't as much as getting in the shower. It was more, how many years did she have a perm? Because then you would know that with a perm, I haven't watched Legally Blonde in too long. You can't have a shower in the first 40. You can't get your hair wet in the first 48 hours. I believe that's how she got her off the hook. But it's been a while since I've seen Legally Blonde. ROs and HBOs are political window dressing. That piece of paper has often failed as a shield for peeps trying being stalked. Some have ceased taking breath, clutching said piece of paper, just saying, yeah, those pieces of paper are nothing. And the way everyone is obtaining them these days, in my opinion, shows it has become an easy way for the police to say, well, we're protecting you. How? Well, you got this piece of paper, so now we'll come extra fast when he's in your house. Doesn't mean anything. Well, we can put him in prison for longer after. Yeah, and then they will be released early because there's no room in prison. Kimmy was pestering Nick's chat yesterday. Well, then good luck to you, Nick. No, Nick doesn't have as much patience as me. He blocks people. You cops says Tennessee because you are the only 10 I see. Oh, you're such a sweetheart, Diane. It was the fresh perm. You can't wash your hair for a few days. I believe it's 48 hours. But yes, I watched Legally Blonde. I know my stuff. That was actually what I said yesterday. It was so bad that at least Lally was kind of laughable. He was condescending. He was downplaying her years of experience. I really didn't like what he was doing, and we would. A few people was talking about on the Twitter why was he doing it, and I think because he was more testifying than he was asking her questions. Either it was to get the press to write about it, and some has written about it today that that he got to her, or it was to test will this be a good tactic to attack this aggressive in a courtroom? Because was it during either Sarah Boone or something where we talked with a lawyer who said, well, I use YouTube to kind of get an idea what juries mean, because right now Hank the Tank have, I don't know how many watched the hearings yesterday, how many participated in chat, but he would have at least a couple of thousand respondents if he goes around checking everyone. I think again EDB had crazy numbers. Go in, watch her chat, see do they feel he's winning or he's losing? Okay, now I know what most likely a jury would think, because then he can kind of find out what should my style be in front of a jury. And we know a lawyer said we are looking more and more on all of you true crimers, because we can kind of use you to gauge what a jury would think. Yeah. I wish the defense would focus on Karen Reed's innocence, not trying to solve the murder. Yeah, that's. I think that would be the way to go. Hey, Virginia, thank you so much. Legally Blonde is a favorite conflict in my house. My favorite conflict is 10 Things I Hate About You, and I can't tell you why, but I just love that movie. And Bianca shouldn't have been allowed to date. Boogie needs to change his last name. Boogie? Yeah, so was she. She was yelling as much as we were. So many mischaracterizations and flat out lies. Yeah, constantly lying, constantly. And Auntie Bev, she should keep that courtroom in check. She should say, you have no evidence of this. You haven't. When he said we have two witnesses who stated, one of them stated on, I don't know where else he said it on Brandy Churchwell's channel, which people got mad about that Brandy Churchwell had him on. He doesn't run his opinion. He also said it doesn't look like a car attack either. So, hey, people, relax, calmale. And the other one, the FBI expert, it must be in the 3,600 pages, because I've never seen any FBI agent testify in this case. We have it on a Nordic streaming thing called Viaplay. I think I saw it. Yes, he's an aggressive defense attorney. That's what he's doing. Never seen that one. I want you to want me. I need you to need me. I said kumate all day yesterday, driving my husband nuts. Bloodsport is the best movie of all time. Sadly, you're wrong. It is The Barbarians, the greatest movie ever. LB is on Max, Hulu, and Disney Plus. But everyone, I'm going to jump off, going to make myself some dinner. I have a possible case starting up later today out of New Hampshire, but I have no confirmations if it's going to start. Thank you all so much for joining me for the reading of the greatest love story in modern history, Grant and the fake victim. May they find each other. May he part the beef curtains and finally get what he hasn't had in his life.
What exhibit are you referring to?
An erection.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.
So there.
Everybody has.